Let's go.
Mr. Myron Golden, how are you this evening?
I am utterly fantastic. How are you, brother?
Oh, I'm so excited. This is unbelievable, and I can't waste any time because people, I just want you to know, when I listened to you on David Shands, it was otherworldly. I was driving. I almost had to pull over to the side of the road and say, I'm going to be late to my morning formation with the military, but it was incredible. So everybody that's listening, take out a pen and paper right now. I want to jump right into this. And
Okay.
I have Boss Moves right here. Incredible book.
Come on now.
If you guys listening do not go to, I think it's bossmovesbook.com if I'm correct. Is that right, Myron?
That's correct.
And we're going to drop a link to everything. I was reading through this, and this is incredible. And the one thing that really stuck out to me, and I just got done going through your challenge that I want you to touch on and summarize for us, because you could talk on this for hours,
Sure.
Are lead generation, lead conversion, and you could tell us the rest. I have it all written down, but Myron, I want to hear it from your mouth.
Yeah, lead generation, lead conversion, customer ascension, customer retention. So those are basically the 4 moves that you can use to scale any business times more than 12x. Like the math is just so stupid simple. It's like 5th grade math. But we have clients who literally just in a matter of months, and I'm not saying everybody's going to do that, but we have clients in a matter of months that scale their business more than 12x by improving those 4 matrices.
Run me through that. Give me an example of that. How does that work?
Okay. So basically the number one thing most business owners need to do is they need to make more offers. They're not making enough offers to make a dent in the marketplace. And there are 4 types of offers you have to make if you want to scale your business. Siri, Siri said, I didn't understand that. Well, you're not going to understand that, Siri, because I'm not talking to you. Okay. So there are 4 basic offers that you have to understand and that you have to apply, that when you apply them, if you apply them in the right order, and if you apply them efficiently and effectively, you should be able to scale your business in 4 moves. And so I'm going to give you the breakdown. I'm going to give you the foundation first. Let's assume that you have a business, right? Let's assume that business is generating 100 leads per month and converting 10% of those leads. Okay. So you're generating 100 leads per month. You're converting 10% of those leads, which means you're making 10 sales. Let's say your core product offer is $1,000. So 10 sales times $1,000, you're making $10,000 a month. And there are a lot of entrepreneurs who are listening to this who probably have a webinar that they are doing once a week, and they're doing maybe 2.5 sales a week, whatever that is. So they're doing 10 sales a month of $1,000 product. They're making $10,000 a month, and they're doing better than they were doing at their hourly wage job, but they feel like they're stuck, right? And so what I'd tell people is all you have to do to take this business to the next level is make more offers, these 4 types of offers in particular, and you can scale your business 12x. So the first thing we're going to fix your lead generation. If you're generating 100 leads, converting 10% of those leads, you're making 10 sales a month at $1,000, that's $10,000 a month. Making $10,000 a month. And so the first thing you have to do is double your lead generation, right? So instead of generating 100 leads a month, you start generating 200. If everything else in your business stays the same, now you're making 20 sales a month at $1,000 a piece. You're at $20,000 a month. You've only fixed one thing. Okay, that's pretty cool. So how do you double your lead generation? Well, you double your lead generation by doing 2 things. Number one, you have a better lead generation process. And as you know, because you just took my challenge, one of the biggest reasons most lead generation opt-in pages are inefficient and ineffective is because when they're advertising to cold traffic, they're trying to lead that cold traffic into pleasure instead of leading them away from pain. And you have to, so if you say 7 steps to 7 figures and cold traffic sees that, they're going to be skeptical. But if you make the same offer to the same audience and the headline is the 7 biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make that keep their business from 7 figures, you'll get twice as many leads. Because if you're promising a big result to somebody who doesn't know you, they automatically think you're lying. Okay, so that's the first thing you do. The second thing, just put out more opt-in, like put out more lead magnets, more lead generation pages, right? More opt-in pages. and put more opt-in pages in more places. So double your lead generation. Number two, you double your conversions. Well, how do you double your conversions? You double your conversions by learning how to sell. It's amazing to me how many people in sales don't know how to sell. It's amazing to me how many people who teach sales don't know how to sell, in my opinion. I'm like, I would never say that. Why would you say that? That's horrible. A lot of people, because people love to buy and they love to be sold, a lot of people make sales in spite of how horrible they are as a salesperson. And so how do you double your lead, your conversions? You double your lead conversions or sales by getting better at sales. If I were going to tell you, if I were going to give you a couple of things you could do to get better at sales, I would say first and foremost, you've got to realize that sales is not something you do to people. Sales is something you do for people. That's the first thing. The second thing is you've got to stop trying to get people to buy. And instead of trying to get people to buy, create an environment that makes them feel like buying. Because the more I try to get you to buy something from me, the more I persist, the more you resist, right? And so what I've got to do is I've got to flip the script on that. And I've got to create an environment that makes you feel like buying. And part of the environment, part of creating that environment that makes you feel like buying is me demonstrating with my words and my energy that I don't need to make this sale.
What does that look like, Myron? Like
what does what look
that
like?
I don't need that I don't need this sale. How do I say that? Do I just outright say that, or is it just implied?
I could say something. I could say to you, okay, I'm going to give you a sales presentation, and there are basically two options. It's either going to make great sense to you and you're going to know it's for you. If that's the case, take advantage of it. But if it's not, then you're going to be smart enough to know that too. And hopefully you can respect the fact that I don't do high pressure sales. And I don't do high pressure sales because I believe the people that I sell to are smart enough to make an adult decision. If this is not for you, I literally do not desire for you to buy it. Right? So now you're like really, I'm like, the one thing you don't have to worry about is me trying to talk you into doing this. Because if it doesn't make sense to you, don't do it. And I promise you, I would be more likely to talk you out of it than talk you into it. Because like, if this is not going to help you, I care too much about you, even though we just met, to try to get you to buy something that's not in your own best interest. See, so now if my energy is in alignment with those words that I just said, they're going to be like, well, that's different, right?
Oh yeah. We're not used to that.
They're going to be like, wait, what? And so like I literally have no desire whatsoever for somebody who doesn't feel like my offer is in the best interest of them or their family or their business or whatever. I have no interest in them buying from me at all. Like, I don't want to frustrate them and I don't want to irritate me, right? So I'm just going to like, okay, it's been nice talking to you. I hope everything goes great for you. I'm done. You have to, in order to disconnect yourself from the need to make a sale, you have to know enough about your potential customer and what the holes in their life are. And you have to know enough about how your solution, that thing that you're selling, can plug those holes in order for you to explain it to them in a way that they realize this is a much better deal for them than it is for you.
So Myron,
until that happens, yeah, go ahead.
There's one thing that I've learned over this pandemic, there's so many more coaches in the world. And what I've seen is people who have decided to become coach and the next week go out into the marketplace and have an offer. But this was definitely the case with me. I didn't really understand the significance of sitting down and understanding how it could benefit or what was the payoff for the other person. One of the things you mentioned is in the book, you say, if I offer a program or if you offer a program, which you do for $81,000, you want to make sure that the user is getting at least an $810,000 return. Not saying that that's what they're going to make, but a 10x return on that investment is a potential.
That potential has to be there. If the potential to 10x their investment is not there in 12 months or less, I've overcharged them.
So how do I measure that?
Opinion.
How do I measure that if I'm in life coaching, for example, where I can't tangibly measure a 10x result?
I would have to be a life coach to know the answer to that, and I'm not one. But to your point, let's say you're a relationship coach. I'm not a relationship coach either, but at least I can measure the cost, right? So one of the things you have to do is you have to evaluate the cost of not getting the result. So let's say you do relationship coaching, right? And you coach married couples on their relationship. So you've got a husband, you've got a wife, you've got 3 children. right? And you're coaching them because they're not on the brink of divorce, but they're on the brink of being on the brink of divorce, right? So, and let's say you want to sell them a $10,000 coaching program. Well, how can you measure that being $100,000 worth of value? Well, if have two people who've been on the brink of being on the brink of divorce before ever gotten to the place where they actually got a divorce? Has that ever happened?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And when two people get a divorce, how much do divorces cost?
A lot of money. That's all I know, Myron.
Okay, well, here's the answer. At least half of what? Everything you have. At least half, right? So if you've got $1 million in your retirement account, it's $500,000.
That's a
If
lot.
you've got two $80,000 cars, it's going to cost you another $80,000 on the car. If you've got a house and you've got equity in that house, you have to sell the house and you'll take that equity. You got $400,000 worth of equity. That's $200,000 for him, $200,000 for her. So now, by the time we get done counting the cost of how much it costs to get divorced, we've only counted one cost. But let me ask you this. Has anyone who's ever gotten divorced, let's say a husband and wife got divorced and the wife kept the children, has that wife ever gotten in a relationship with somebody new? And has that new person ever abused any of the children? Has that ever happened in real life? Has it happened?
Oh, yeah.
How much would it be worth to not have your children be abused? Right? Okay. Have any of the children who've ever been abused by new partners of divorced spouses ever committed suicide? How much do funerals cost? And I'm not being theatrical. I'm just talking about the real potential outcomes of not getting this situation that you're in resolved. And so there's a cost to everything. If you're a weight loss coach, and a person is morbidly obese, and they have diabetes and high blood pressure and arrhythmias, and how much does heart surgery cost? How much a lot of people who have diabetes have to have a leg amputated or both legs amputated? How much are legs worth? It's about looking further down the road at the end of them not getting the result that you can provide for them and seeing what that cost is going to be, and then comparing that to the cost of the thing that you sell.
Myron, why aren't we taught this in school, man? This is.
Well, I wasn't taught it in school. You know where I learned it? I learned it having conversations with people, having thousands of sales conversations with people, and paying attention to why people bought when they bought and why they didn't buy when they didn't buy. And see, what's really interesting, most people are so self-absorbed. Even people who are not selfish are so self-consumed and self-absorbed that they're focused on what they perceive as the value of their offer. And the reason they value it is because that's what they've got their time, effort, energy, and money vested into. That's why people who have degrees emphasize college, because that's where they've invested their time. And I'm not saying college can't be good. College can definitely be good if you're going to be an engineer and you build bridges that the rest of us have to drive across. If you're going to be a surgeon, a brain surgeon, a neurosurgeon, an oncologist, right? Please go to school, right? And learn from somebody learn from the people who've already made the mistakes or the ones who haven't made the mistakes. Learn from those people, how to do your job well. But the whole idea that everybody should go to college, I think, is a farce. So what we have to do is we have to care enough about other human beings to put them before ourselves, realizing that if we put them before ourselves, we're going to be okay. I was put here by myself, but I was not put here for myself. I was put here to serve other human beings. I know that. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I went to breakfast this morning, as my tendency is to do sometimes. And I went to breakfast at my favorite restaurant, and I got in there, and the young lady came to wait on me, and I was sitting there, and then I saw a friend of mine come in the door, and I waved him over. Come on over, let's have breakfast. So he came over. We had a really good, stimulating conversation before I went to the golf course, and I got up and left before he did. I paid for his meal and for my meal, and one of the things that I do to serve people, and you probably, I think I may have said this in the challenge that you were in last week. One of the things that we have to learn to do is we must learn to use the money and love the people, not use the people and love the money, right? So we got to learn to use the money and love the people. But if you want to take it to its ultimate extreme, that'll really change your life. It'll open doors for you that nobody can close. use the money to love the people. What does that mean? That means, like, when I go in a restaurant, I know if I get decent service, not even great service, if I get decent service, the minimum tip I'm going to leave per person in my party, if I'm paying for everybody, the minimum tip I'm going to leave is $10 per person. So I've gone, and you've probably heard me say this, so I went this morning, and the meal came to $35 with what he had and what I had. It came to $35, and I gave the girl a $20 tip on a $35 meal. Why? Because there were two of us, and $20. Me giving her $20 is not going to be detrimental to my existence, but it'll be monumental to her existence.
Right.
$20 tip from one meal is from a $35 meal, where the average tip, where a good tip would be considered $7, right, is game changer. So use the money to love the people.
Man, Myron, I could just stay on customer on lead conversion for this whole time, but I want to move on. But tell me, what happens when you get your lead conversion right? Where does you go from 20,000 to where? Well, so when you get your lead, you go from 10,000 to 20,000. So you double your lead conversion. If you were converting at 10%, start converting at 20%. So if you think about this, you were generating 100 leads per month, converting 10%, you're making $1,000 sale, 10,000 a month. You double your leads, everything else stays the same. You're still converting at 10%, but now you're getting 200 leads. You're 20,000 a month. But now you double your lead conversion by getting better at selling, right? By asking more questions and letting the customer provide the content and you provide the context, right? So when you do that, what happens is you'll more than double your conversion. Like, if I am in a selling situation where I'm selling and other people are selling, let's say I go to a conference and there are speakers and they're selling from the stage, and I go to that same conference, I'm speaking and I'm selling from the stage, unless they're students of mine, I will always outsell them at least 3-1. Wow.
Because I understand this concept of they provide the content, I provide the context. And by content, I mean the reasons why they should buy. That's what I mean. They know the solutions they are looking for. I provide the context. What's the context? I show them how the thing that I have solves that problem, right? And so I double my lead conversions. Now, instead of I'm generating 200 leads a month, but instead of converting 10% and making 20,000, I start converting 20%. I double my conversions, and now I'm making 40,000, because 20% of 200 is 40. Well, 40 sales times $1,000 per sale is 40,000 a month. You've fixed two things and quadrupled your revenue. It's so simple, and it's literally why we help our clients do 6-figure days and 7-figure days, while other coaches are trying to help their students have 6- and 7-figure years. Because, and I'm not exaggerating at all. It's like, you heard the testimony of the lady who came on Saturday, right? Were you there Saturday?
That blew my mind,
right?
Myron.
Right? Like, she did her very first challenge, which is one of the things we teach people how to do. She did her very first challenge. She did $204,000 in sales. It's like, it is what it is. And so anyway, we're talking about 40,000. We're at 40,000 now, right? So now what do? Let's add an ascension path. What is an ascension path? I'm going to add a high ticket premium value offer to my mix. If you had a premium value offer to your mix, and let's say you're currently selling $1,000 offer, what if you had a $10,000 offer and you offered everybody who bought your $1,000 offer an opportunity to buy your $10,000 offer? Okay, so here's why you should do that if you're not doing it currently. If you don't have a premium value offer for your customers, you as an entrepreneur are forcing your best customers to spend most of their money with someone other than you.
That's deep, Myron.
It's why, think about this, it's why Mercedes invented the Maybach. Why did they invent the Maybach? Because they got tired of sending their best customers to Rolls-Royce and Bentley, because they didn't have a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 car to sell them. They said, well, if they can make a $500,000 car, we can make a $500,000 car. And so they started doing that, and now they stopped having to send all of their, like, I love Mercedes, right? I love Mercedes. I'm keeping it real. I have a Mercedes in my driveway. I have two Mercedes in my driveway, right? I love Mercedes vehicles. I like the experience of driving Mercedes, but I'm going to tell you something. It is not a Rolls Royce.
Come on, Myron.
And Mercedes does not currently have anything comparable to a Rolls Royce. In fact, nobody. I'm telling you, there's not a car manufacturer out there that I've experienced that has anything even remotely comparable to a Rolls Royce. I had a Bentley GT6 Continental GT which I sold right before I bought my Rolls, and I'm telling you, there's no experience like it. But any car dealership, any brand could decide to start building handcrafted, elegant, luxury automobiles by just buying a Rolls Royce and disassembling it and seeing all and just backwards extrapolating that process. But then they got to learn how the people who buy that kind of car think, so they can create messaging that causes that person to buy their stuff like they buy Rolls Royce. Like Rolls Royce has a concierge. Like I have a button in my car that says, psh, and what can I do for you, Mr. Golden? Well, I'd like for you to get me a reservation at Eddie V's for tomorrow night at 7:30. We're going to have a party of 8. And the concierge service of the car will make the reservation for me. They'll make a hotel reservation for me. Right? Anyway, so my point being, figure out what kind of experience you can give people for a price that's 10x your core product. That becomes your premium value offer. If you convert 10% of your buyers, so you're making 40 sales a month, if you convert 10% of the people who are buying from you, that's 10% of the 40, that's 4 people per month on a $10,000 offer, that's another $40,000 a month. Well, you add that $40,000 a month to the other $40,000 a month, ta-da, it's $80,000 a month, you're almost at $1 million a year. Congratulations. You are in the top 1%.
Myron,
you fix 3 things in your business.
I got 2 questions. First off, does somebody have to be an expert in order to have a premium value offer, or do you only have to be 10% ahead of your clients? Or what does that look like? Because when I hear $10,000, woo, you got to be an expert at what you do, or is it you just got to be a little bit of?
I don't think it's either. It's not about what you are. It's about the payoff for them. It has nothing to do who you are has nothing to do with it. It's almost irrelevant. It's almost irrelevant. Do you have to be an expert? No, you don't have to be an expert. You might be a reporter. You might be an explorer. You might be a partner. You might be somebody who, like Steve Jobs, could see the value of what somebody else created. Steve Jobs saw the value in what Wozniak created. And because of that, we have Apple, right? So you don't have to be an expert. Jobs was a programmer, but he was no Steve Wozniak. Right? So he was not the expert, right? Henry Ford was not an expert. He surrounded himself with experts. What you have to do is you have to see where the holes are in people's lives. You can always find somebody who knows what to do, knows how to do it, but it's very hard to find people who know what to do. It's easy to find people who know how to do it. It's very hard to find people who know what to do. The people who get paid the most money are people who know what to do.
Oh, Myron, that's deep. That's deep. I'm feeling that right now. It's so, I love this because it is so countercultural to what we're always taught all of our lives. And that's what I love most about you and absorbing your content. It's coming from left field, but yet it makes such sense. And you say, wow, this is really good stuff. The second thing I had was, say I have a couple of different offers and I'm on the phone with a potential client. How do I know, do I automatically go for the premium value offer? Or once again, is it just depending upon what you believe they need in that moment?
So if you have multiple offers that are in different arenas, my first question would be, why are you doing that to you and them? Right. And then my second question is, are the multiple offers a stack? In other words, every solution creates 10 new problems. So are the multiple offers you have, do you have an iPhone offer, and then you have an iPhone case offer, then you have an iPhone pop socket offer, or do you have an iPhone offer and an Android offer and a BlackBerry offer? What are the multiple offers? If you have multiple competing offers, why would you do that?
So are you saying it would be better to have, let's say, a $7,000 coaching program and then not having any other coaching program and maybe doing something like a challenge like you do?
I'm saying You shouldn't be teaching people how to lose weight and how to make money and how to have good relationships. That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't be doing this and that and this. It's okay. You should be doing this plus this plus this. In other words, like I might teach people how to be a coach, but I also might teach them how to write a book. Why? Because writing a book can help them get more coaching clients. I might teach them how to write a book, but I also, and how to be a coach, but I also might teach them how to do a challenge. Why? Because doing a challenge might help them get more coaching clients. So
it's all connected.
It has to be a stack. It can't be a switch, right? They have to be things that are contributing to each other. And for people, if you've got multiple offers that are for different people who are in a different part of the same journey, that's fine. Like I have my Offer Mastery Bootcamp. That's for people who are, they're making less than $20,000 a month, but they're serious about entrepreneurship, but they're making less than $20,000 a month. So I teach them how to do a challenge. And the real reason I created the challenge, unfortunately, we're going to have to figure out something else now, but I created the challenge because I wanted to fill up my inner circle, which is my $155,000 per coaching program. And I wanted people to be able to make enough money so they could afford to buy that. So I created a program to get people to the point where they'd make enough money to join my inner circle. But the problem is my inner circle is almost full. So it'll be done. My inner circle will be on lockdown in maybe another 30 days. Like people are coming in so fast, it's like dizzying. But when we get to 100 people, I'm shutting it down. Not shutting it down. I'm locking the doors. Nobody else can come in unless somebody drops out. And then it'll be waiting list, first come, first serve. And when we contact somebody, they'll need to be ready. Like within 24 hours, we're going to give that spot to somebody else. Like this is like people are banging down the doors to get in this. So now I'm going to have to create a separate offer because the inner circle's full. And then we've got a program beyond that, which is my Royal Family program, which is $1 million a year. And there'll be people in my inner circle who'll probably take that. That'll be their next step, right? So they'll pay me $1 million a year and I'll help them get to $10 million a year.
Myron, what does that look like? That $1 million package. What?
It all depends. It all depends on what your business looks like. You need to be making somewhere between $1 million and $3 million a year though, already, or it doesn't make sense for you. And 3 million would be better. Like if you're at 3 million, like getting you to 10 million is a piece of cake. But it's not a piece of cake for you because if it were, you'd already be there.
Yeah, don't come at me like that, Myron.
No, I'm not talking about you, but I'm just saying people in general, right? The reason we hire coaches because the reason professionals hire coaches is because professionals are aware of the fact that they can't see more than they can see. Amateurs think they don't need a coach because they're unaware of the fact that they can't see more than they can see. They think they can see everything.
So, Myron, what about, I hear it all the time, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can't afford it.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I can't afford it is not a real concept. It's a construct. Have you ever bought something you couldn't afford?
Yeah.
Okay. So then what did it mean? What did I can't afford it mean? It didn't mean anything. What I can't afford it really means is this is not valuable enough to me in order for me to figure it out. That's all I can't afford it means. Because if it's valuable enough to you, if somebody said, okay, we're going to kill your daughter. We're going to kill your son. If you don't come up with this money, you come up with the money. Or if they said, hey, you've got this disease. The antidote is $250,000 and you need it by tomorrow. We're going to sell it to somebody else. And it's the only, you figure it out, right? There's no such thing as I can't afford it. I can't afford it is an excuse for this is not important enough to me right now to figure it out.
So
people who say I can't afford it have $250 sneakers on. They've got $3,000 54-inch televisions hanging on their wall. I'm just not buying it.
So is it better to make a decision based off of where you are right now or where you want to be in the future?
Is it better for who?
Does that make so? Say I'm looking at investing in a coaching program. Is it better for me to look at my current circumstances and think, well, I don't really got that money in the bank? Or should I be thinking, well, what will this do for me long term?
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you have a car?
Yes.
Do you have a house?
Yes.
When you bought your car, did you have the money in the bank?
Nope.
How much money does your car make you?
Nothing.
I'm asking. Nothing. Okay. And And when you bought your house, did you have the money in the bank?
Nope.
How much money does your house make you?
$0.
So let me ask you this. Which one's the most important to you? Let's say your goal is to make $3 million a year. If somebody said to you, I want you to go sell your house for whatever you can get for it, sell your car for whatever you can get for it, and I'm going to give you $3 million a year, but you don't get that $3 million a year starting until whatever today's date is next year. What are you going to do?
I'm going to do it.
Right. So you answered your own question.
That Myron, this is people. This is so counterculture. When you grow up, and you know this, and you said
all I'm doing is helping you figure out the answer to your question. Because if I give you an answer and say, well, what you should do is you should focus on what's most important to you in the future, then the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to resist. How do I know that? Because if I say to somebody, it's a nice day outside, the first thing they're going to say is, yeah, but we really need the rain. If I say, oh wow, it's like I'm telling the truth. People do not feel like they can contribute to a conversation unless they are disagreeing with you. So I'm not going to give you anything to disagree with. I'm going to let you come to your own conclusion, and then you own it because it's yours. Instead of trying to force you to agree with me, and then we go back and forth, and whoever's the most powerful position, I'm not interested in that.
Myron,
you're a smart guy.
That's the one. The reason I asked that question is because for me, that was the hardest mindset shift. When you grow up middle class, you're just always, I got to save every penny. But yet you're so right. I still see the person walking with the Gucci bag they just bought for $3,000, the new Jordans that just came out. But yet I was so hesitant to invest maybe $150 in myself in a course or something of the sort. But making that shift, it's incredible. But Myron, listen, the time's almost up.
You know what's really amazing though, Devin? What's really amazing is the fact that we value other people more than we value ourselves. See, people who have the latest Jordans, they value Michael Jordan more than they value themselves.
Oh, Myron, stop it.
They'll invest money in some shoes that have Michael Jordan's name on them, but they won't invest money in their mind, so somebody else will put their name on their body.
Oh my goodness.
Am I telling the truth?
Oh, you telling.
It's so interesting. My wife and I, we went to Neiman Marcus the other night, right? And I'm in Neiman Marcus, and I'm looking at this stuff, and I'm like, wow, these people really get. I don't know who Neiman is, and I don't know who Marcus is, but they get it, right? And so what's really fascinating is they had some Balenciagas. I have on Balenciaga sock shoes right now, right? So, and they're like $1,000, right? And my son bought them for me for my birthday. I never even heard of Balenciagas. Right, I never even heard about Balenci who? So I saw these Balenciaga running shoes. I don't know why you'd run in them because they are heavy as all get out. Right, they were $1,050. I thought, this is so fascinating. And I saw some shoes that are they're like canvas top women's rope sole shoes. Just really they almost look like Vans, but they've got like a rope around the sole. They were $450. And I'm like, they get it. And all they have to do is put Gucci's name on it, put Michael Kors' name on it, or put David Yurman's name on it. And I'm like, this is so fascinating. These people, David Yurman, Michael Kors, Gucci, Chanel, Balenciaga, these people figured out how to get other people clamoring to pay them a premium price for the same thing other people are selling at a discount price. Right. Genius. And I think every entrepreneur should do a research project and go to Neiman Marcus and try to figure out why, or even go and ask some customers, go interview some customers at Neiman Marcus. Say, so it looks like you're I'm a reporter and I'm just doing some reporting. I was wondering what is it about these shoes that are so appealing to you? What is it about this bracelet that's so appealing to you? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I like nice stuff. I have a Rolls Royce. Nobody needs a $330,000 car. Nobody. I don't need one. You don't need one. Nobody needs one. But I still have one. Why? Well, because I can, right? And so what is it? What goes on in the mind of someone that causes them to become a premium value buyer instead of a discount buyer? When you learn the answer to that, it'll change the way you talk to people.
Myron, I know we're running out of time. Real quick, a minute. What does customer retention look like?
Okay, so that's the last step in the formula. We got to 80,000 a month, right? Customer retention looks like getting customers to come back and buy from you more and more often. One of the best ways to do that is with what we call a continuity program. What does continuity mean? Continuity means you sell it to them once, they pay you for it over and over. Like what? Like Apple Music. Like what? Like Netflix. Like what? Like Prime Movie. Like Prime Video. Like what? Like a newsletter from Agora Publishing. There are newsletters that I pay $200 a year for that I get, right? And I get these newsletters on crypto, and newsletters on investing, and I pay $100 a year here, $200 a year here, $300 a year here. I've got Zoom. We're on Zoom right now. Zoom is a continuity program. It's a software as a service. The three best things to sell in continuity: one is a newsletter, two is a membership site, three is software as a service. So those are things that you can pay continuity for. Another thing you can do is you can sell a premium value offer, and then you become the bank, and then people make payments to you, right? So all of those are things that you can do to increase customer retention, get them to come back to you more and more and more and more and more. Like my inner circle is 155,000, but it's not $155,000 one time. It's $155,000 per year. Once we get to 100 people, that's like $15.5 million a year before I get out of bed. That's customer retention. So, but with the illustration that I was giving, if you add a $100 software as a service, let's say you have some kind of software program that helps people achieve whatever the thing is that you help them achieve, right? Software as a service. They pay you $100 a month, right? But you give it to them for free for the first month. You're getting 40 customers a month, right? 40 times 12 is 480. 480 times $100 a month is 48,000, right? So 480 times 100 is 48,000. So $48,000 a month is what the monthly revenue would be if you sold every single solitary person who bought your core product, your $100 product, especially if it was essential to them doing the thing that they have to do. Like Zoom is essential for our business. You're a podcaster. Zoom is essential, right? It's not something you're like, well, I'll have it this month, I won't have it next month. No, you're not going to let your Zoom account lapse. Well, if you can have something like that, then what happens is now you've got those 480 new customers. You got 448,000 a month, plus the 80,000 a month. That's $128,000 a month. We fixed four things in your business. We took your business from 10,000 a month to $128,000 a month. And we like our clients do this over and over. We do this with our clients over and over and over and over again because it's a simple formula, but it's a simple formula that people don't do. We do it. That's why we have new people who come in to our program. We got this woman who was on our office hours this past Monday. She's new in my inner circle, and it's a $155,000 program. She's been in for less than a month. And with what she's learned so far, she did her first challenge. She made $125,000 in one day.
Can't make this up.
So, no. Hey, like I say, like if you go to any of our websites, or if you go on, and if it's true, well, then it's true. But if it's not, then I'm a fool for trying to make you think it's true, because you're going to find out anyway, right? And I always say, all these people can't be lying, crying, and testifying. So somebody must be telling the truth somewhere.
Myron, very, very last thing. When you look back over your life and all the contribution that you've added to this universe, what is the legacy that you are going to leave behind?
I hope the legacy that I leave behind is that I have impacted the lives of my family, my friends, and my clients to seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. So all those things will be added into them. And before, I'm not going to end it like that, because I want to clarify what I mean by that. Because I believe the priority of life is the kingdom of God. That's the number one priority in life, I believe. What is the kingdom of God? The kingdom of God is that I yield my life to God as the sovereign king of my life. I do what he wants me to do. I say what he wants me to say. I go where he wants me to go. I yield to him as the sovereign king of my life. I rule over an assignment, because when I yield to him, he gives me an assignment to rule over. So I'm a king under a king. I rule over that assignment with sovereign authority. And then I use the assignment that I rule over to serve every human being I come in contact with. That's what I mean when I say, seek ye first the kingdom of God, his righteousness, and all these things we have.
Oh, Myron, I notice so many people thinking right now, how do I work more with Myron? Myron, what do you recommend to people that would like to take the next step and potentially work with you in some capacity?
I would say, I know you're going to put a link on there. I would say you need to join my Make More Offers Challenge if you want to learn, like, in depth some of the stuff we covered here, like with really, really broad strokes. My Make More Offers challenge is a game changer. It's a 5-day challenge. The VIP experience is remarkable. I get paid, like what clients pay me is $25,000 per hour to coach them on business. And when I do the VIP experience in the Make More Offers challenge, you get 5 hours of a group coaching. You get 1 hour a day for 5 days, right before the challenge starts. And entrepreneurs come on from all over the world, ask me their questions, and I give them the answer. And the VIP experience is only $297 for the whole week. So you get 5 hours of group coaching, which is not the same as one-on-one coaching, but I don't know, Devin, you were a part of the VIP. I believe that people who are in the VIP, even the ones who didn't get to ask their questions got answered because somebody else asked them. And we've got, and I answer as many questions as I can in the time allotted. And it's just like the VIP experience by itself could be something that would be worth more than $297 just by itself, even without the challenge. And then when you throw the challenge on top, it's a wrap. So
it's crazy. Everybody, if you don't do that, you gotta go see a doctor or something. I'm telling you, if you're even half serious, this is a must. But Myron, this has been incredible. Thank you so much. I know you got some bags to go pack, and I hope you go have a good trip, man. And I'm sure you're gonna be playing some more golf. So have fun.
I'm not going to be playing
Myron.
golf in Idaho. It's too cold there. I'm going to come back to Florida and play golf. Okay, I'm going to go to Idaho, handle business, and then come back to Florida and play golf. But I appreciate this opportunity, brother. I thank you for your service, and I just know that you're going to have the utmost success. Keep on doing what you're doing, brother.
See you soon, Myron.
All right, peace out, Cub Scout.